Why do you like to be alive? There's an old man I sometimes visit who can talk your ear off for hours on end. You'll sit down with him, and he'll start to unload his stories, one after the other, of his old friends, his years in the radio industry, and his misadventures chasing women. Once, halfway through his usual ramble, he stopped, turned to me, and said, "You know what, life is fun, and it stinks to know that I'm getting close to the end. Because the whole thing's just been so damned fun." That's always stuck with me. It's my belief that the person who's had the most successful life is the one who, when it's all said and done, has the best stories to tell his grandkids. I'm terminally ill, and the closer I've gotten to death, the more I've just sat back and watched nature, genuinely stopping to smell the roses. It's the little things in life that make life worth living. The family of birds in a nearby tree communicating with each other. The dog you wake up every morning to and can't wait to see you and be around you. I even oddly lie watching the trees rustle on a windy day, watching my fish swim around their aquarium, valuing the time and memories I make with my wife and friends. People that say life isn't worth living need to try their very best to smell the roses, watch the sunrise or sunset. I know sometimes life really can get us down in the dumps, but life is truly beautiful. Edit, just woke up and checked all the notifications. Thank you everyone for the awards and the very nice words. It's very humbling to get so many beautiful responses. I've done my best to read and like as many as possible. One comment I noticed is about how close to death we come. My fate was luckily decided by my oncologist. I was in NICU last year. I was septic and I had a super bug the doctors couldn't get on top of. My kidney had completely stopped and I only have one kidney. Fortunately, when the NICU had the various teams come together to decide whether to continue or let me go, my oncologist demanded they continue to treat me because I'm young, 29, and my heart and lungs are in good shape. I'm still here to this day. So I owe it all to that man who's saved my life multiple times. I've sat with my wife and cried, told her I was ready to go, and laid patiently with my eyes closed ready to be taken away. It just didn't happen. Since that moment I've done my absolute best to enjoy the little moments in life that we easily brush past and let go unnoticed when we are busy and living a healthy normal life. I'll try to individually reply to comments where I can. Thank you everyone. There is this quote I love by Maya Angelou, that goes like this: "People will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel." I just want to say thank you for taking some of your little time that you have left to inspire others and help others. I might forget what you said, I might forget what you did, but I will never forget how you made me feel. Because when you pointed out all the small details of life, I felt reminded that life is truly beautiful and that we need to feel that beauty. If you wouldn't have posted this comment, I might have forgot those details. And it is those details that makes life so rewarding, and I wouldn't have felt those things. I truly wish I could give you a hug. Personally, I don't find it so nice or touching when being comforted by strangers, but I just want to let you know that people want to look out for you and want you here. Even when you are somewhere else, you will be remembered, because of the way you made people feel. DMs are open. If you want to chat, there is no way to express feelings in words, but you touched me, and I can't say that about many. You are special and you need to remember that for as long as possible. Smile. Same here, kinda. One of my casual side quests I'm on in this current outset playthrough is to find the perfect cheeseburger. It's like my personal little guideline to test any new restaurant I try, because if they can do a good cheeseburger then they usually have their shit together. So far, the best cheeseburger I've ever had was from a little restaurant in MKE that I went to once on a trip. They got everything right. Edit, to everyone asking, it was Bombers. I remember they had some odd as hell menu items, like a peanut butter cheeseburger. Anyway, I had ordered the bacon cheeseburger with the pretzel bread bun, and they had perfectly smashed down the patties so that the edges were just slightly crisp, added in enough cheese to accomplish an ideal cheese-to-meat ratio with the smashed patties. Usually it's too much meat and not enough cheese, and the bacon appropriately came out as it should with every bite. Bacon is wont to come out of the burger all the way with one bite if you don't cook the bacon to the right texture or glue it in properly with just melted enough cheese. The pretzel bread bun was perfectly grilled and added to the overall effect of a soft crunch texture to that cheeseburger that I've come to compare all other cheeseburgers by. The tater tots were exemplary. 10/10 would travel to MKE just to eat there again. Pretty sure no one will find this comment, but hey, today was a good day for me. I just got my first electric piano and I'm eager to learn this instrument. Now that is a reason to be alive. Music. I wanna master this thing before I go. Edit. Thank you kind strangers for all the awards and all the reply comments wishing me luck. Really made me feel great. I've been wanting to play the piano for about 3 years now, but only a few days ago I managed to convince my parents to get me one. I've been pretty depressive for the past few years for reasons, but I hope this thing can get me back on track. To all of you who are in the same boat with me, I wish you all well. We're all gonna make it. May and all the good in this world. Joking around and laughing with your friends until you can't breathe anymore. A random dog running up to you to sniff your butt. Getting your first kiss. The smells from bakeries when you head out in the morning. Staring at the moon late at night knowing there's someone out there doing the same. Hugging your parents after not seeing them for a while. Cuddling with you so after you did the beep beep scottedly do. A stranger's baby smiling at you when you're waiting for a bus. The taste of the watermelon on a hot summer day and laying on the couch under a blanket watching the flames in the fireplace on a cold winter evening. Listening to the music in your bed on a Friday night knowing you don't have to set up an alarm for tomorrow. Texting your crush late at night, both of you being dead as tired but neither one wanting it to stop. The feeling of accomplishment when you finally learn to tie your shoes yourself. When you finally reach the bathroom after having to pee really bad. Telling a joke and a whole group of people laughs. Reading a book at the seaside while the sun unbeknownst to you slowly burns in a dick a sibling drew on your back with the sunscreen. Finally beating a game you've been playing for weeks. Making a meme yourself and thousands of strangers on Reddit like it too. When you inconsistently water your cactus but the cactus is just fine with it and it blooms to thank you and you didn't even know cactuses can bloom. When you're really tired after a workout and your muscles are sore the next day but hey you know you did something good for yourself. Starving yourself because you know grandma is going to cook your favorite meal and you have to eat it all. Honestly, same. I've been in the slumps real bad those past few months and keep on thinking you can always just. And you know that right? But then I realized no. My cousin lost his dad that way, meaning my dad lost his older brother that way. Meaning my grandma who just visited lost her oldest son that way, and I don't want my little sister to be an only child. I have a very small family, think 10 total, so it would devastate who's left. Plus I'm in a foreign country so basically no one I care about could attend my funeral. And I haven't confessed my love to someone in person and am now halfway across the world. Plus I have to say goodbye to my cats, left in the States, one last time. I also need to become a Sims 4 spellcaster. I have to see the Nutcracker on Broadway. I have to visit Europe. Many things, it seems like, are making my life worth living. I really don't. I work a dead-end job, live with chronic pain, but every 2 months me and my brother we create bags on basic needs. Clothes, gift cards to shops, hygiene stuff and go into out local city and give them to people. We have created real friendship with some of the people we gave it to. I have seen people manage to get back on their feet and get sorted. That's what keeps me going, knowing even a small thing can help, and maybe help that person clean up for an interview or keep them going for a few extra days. Seeing as this comment will be lost in a sea of other comments and no one from my personal life knows this account, hopefully, I've had depression and anxiety as long as I can remember, and have been diagnosed with ADHD and Asperger's within the last few years. I'm 20 plus, throw PMDD since 13 into the mix too. TLDR, I have felt very bad at times, so bad that the thought of not having to be stuck with the thoughts my whack brain produces would be really nice. As cliche as it sounds, those times have always passed, and then I catch myself in certain moments, such as having a good time with my family, or meeting a stranger and having a really good time for a few hours only to never see them again, or hearing a goosebumps-inducing piece of music for the first or 32nd time, or walking my dog and she looks at me lovingly, or being caught in a summer storm and feeling so alive, and many other such moments, and thinking to myself I'm so glad I'm alive. Would have really sucked not experiencing this. TLDR, depression, and other mental illnesses, fucking suck at times, but life is still good. I met the blind guy at the bar tonight. We started talking about normal small talk. He asked me what I did for work. After my rambling on about my job for a few minutes, I asked him what he did for work. He responded, well, it's kind of complicated. I said back to him, please don't tell me you're a truck driver. He laughed harder than I've seen anyone laugh in a long time. Long story short, sometimes people that have life harder than you need to laugh, and you might just be the person to loosen up their lives or whatever. Have you ever just sat in the warm light of the sun in a grassy area surrounded by flowers at the height of spring? Or listened to someone you care about laugh so hard they could barely breathe? Or drank iced tea and ate strawberries and ice cream on a warm summer's day? Or listened to that one song that just does something to you, a nice long train ride, or a walk along the beach, or braiding your own hair after your shower when it's dry and soft and silky, stepping on crunchy leaves, hanging out with people who make you forget to look at your phone, stories, video games, good food, making a stranger's day. There's a lot to appreciate. You won't always be in the mood to appreciate it, and that's okay. Just make sure you sit there for a moment when you have the time and say to yourself, I'm glad I'm here to experience this. And on the days when you're not in the mood to appreciate anything, or feel like you can't, or fail to see the things worth appreciating, feel that too. Boredom, tiredness, sadness, anger. Experience all the human emotions you can, because when you no longer feel them and look back upon them, you can appreciate them too. Even my worst outbreaks of anger or most crippling loneliness has taught me to appreciate the better times even more. Plus, how wonderful is it that something can make you feel so strongly? I wake up at 3 a.m., exhausted, to my 9-month-old daughter crying and sitting up in her crib. In order to get her back to sleep, I spend 45 minutes bouncing with her on a yoga ball and shushing as she fights me instead of relaxing. Eventually, I win. I'm older and smarter. I lay her back down in her crib. I go back to bed wide awake from the bouncing and try to sleep. I truly enjoy being a dad, and I'm happy that I'm able to comfort my daughter. I like the weight of her in my arms and the feeling of her gripping at my shirt and nuzzling her head into my chest. There's always a reason to live, even though it may not always be obvious. For example, if my time ended on this world right now, I would miss out on so much. I couldn't eat White Castle again, watch Amphibia Season 2, witness April 20th 2069, or go to more Rubik's Cube competitions. Life isn't always easy, but there is something that will always motivate me and let me know that it's all worth it. I cannot wait to experience the future and all the beauty and pain it holds. I like making goals for myself, kinda like a game. I finished school during a pretty rough recession, so my job options weren't fabulous. I started with small things. I needed a job, so I got one, even though the pay was low, just above minimum wage. My next goal was to get a job with health insurance, so that was next. I wanted to adopt a dog, so I got a better job so I could afford it. Then I wanted to live in a bigger apartment, so that was my next goal to work towards. Then a car, my crappy Camry. It still holds a very special place in my heart. My next goal was a house, but that is not possible in the Bay Area. So I moved somewhere where I could make that happen. Now I plan vacations every year so I have those to look forward to, and they have to be something different every time. Last year was a road trip to Crater Lake in Oregon. This year will be a Rammstein concert in LA. It's also really important to look back and appreciate what you have accomplished. I did this all in 10 years, and there is so much more left to accomplish, one small goal at a time. Life is terrible and full of suffering, but instead of making it worse, I've been making it better for the people that I love and for myself. Once I started trying to make my life better, my life got a lot worse because it's easy to live in denial and addiction and mental illness. Everything was an excuse to punish myself for existing. But now, I have a purpose. I want to make life better. I don't think I'll ever be a happy person, super clean, organized, or even really good at anything. But that's okay, because the people around me are going to be able to feel how much I love them. I like to be alive because I can make some things better. I like to be alive because today a CO worker said that I was their favorite and how much they're thankful for me to come to work every day because at least they won't be alone. I'm happy I'm alive because I get to see my brother and his wife happy, and it gives me hope I can have a little bit of something like that. I like to be alive because I didn't always feel this way. I'm 24 now, and one of my early memories is crying every day on the way home from school. Maybe earliest is 3rd grade, just screaming at my mom that I wanted to be over. I like being alive because I got to grow up with Harry Potter, and by the end of the series I realized it wasn't about being the victim. I'm not a boy in an attic or annex. I can sacrifice a little bit of myself for the greater good. Like that part of me I hate was just an old skin. Fuck, I word vomited all over this. TL Doctor, I like to be alive because it's good. It really is. You just gotta season it like a good steak. Sometimes you get put through the meat grinder, but like burgers are good too. Why not? The world is so big and is waiting to be discovered. Why be sad when you're one of hundreds of millions and more sperm cells to be lucky to be alive? There are plenty of people, plenty of science, culture, and undiscovered stuff. By living in the 21st century, the medicine has gotten far better than any time before. Live life to the fullest and regret nothing, because the youth is the chance to actually live and do a lot of things, try new other stuff. Make mistakes and troubles. Live life when young so you can remember good old days when you get older. Have something to tell your children and grandchildren one day. I live in an own pecan orchard. It loses money every year, but every year the trees and flowers bud and bloom. We watched a herd of deer in our meadow last night. Turkeys, quail, fox and rabbits. Birds and butterflies are everywhere. My wife and my dog both love me. My life is full even though my bank account is empty. Life can be hard and losses seemingly unbearable, but today I'm happy to be alive. I like being alive, but at the same time don't. Observing how things work in nature is beautiful. Just a simple flower has so much going on under the simple appearance, and you have to study through it to see its awesomeness. The thing though that I hate is how humans are being such uncaring. I'm not a naturalist, but once I see some plastic or general garbage in the grass I feel kinda worried. I don't think that nature as we see it now is at its finest. Could be so much better with some care. And not only nature. Imagine the night sky if we were to reduce the light pollution. It would be so nice. Instead of having to go to the northern lands such as Norwegia for a nice sky, you could just go out in a summer night and enjoy the view. We could say that I'm an observer.